Hello to all the parents of the next generation. It's Megan Barella here, your positive parenting and happy home guide. Today, we're talking about what's really working for my clients. What are the things that they put into place to create results and transformation for their family? And so we're going to be talking about 3 things that they do. And this live is going to be beneficial. It's really designed if you are a current or a past client to anchor in to the things that are most important on your positive parenting and happy home journey. If you're new to the community, welcome, and this will give you a really nice sample to the tools and the approaches that I pull together. And if you are thinking of enrolling in Happy Home Coaching, this will bring us from the probably later fall, mid-fall, until the new year. So if you want to transform those behavior and parenting challenges into connection and cooperation and step into your confidence and compassion as the leader of your family, then please do. I'll be sharing some of the key foundational pieces of Happy Home Coaching, and then message me to learn more or for an application. Okay, so parents, usually when parents find me, there is emotional dysregulation and power struggles going on. Hello, welcome if you're just joining. We're diving right into the tools now. So there's usually a level of power struggles and emotional dysregulation going on. And within that, there's simultaneously a level of consciousness in the family. I tend to work with parents who are reading the parenting books, who are listening to the podcast and the articles and following the experts on social media. And where I come in is anchoring into the wisdom already within you to implement the tools that you're reading about, and also to determine which tools are going to work best for your family and how. And so the first thing that I always help clients anchor into is the positive relationship, both with yourself and with your children. So if you think about the bosses that you've had in your life, or the managers, which are the ones that you know really cared about you, were able to encourage and motivate you, were compassionate and understanding, were clear on what the expectations were, and really believed in and supported you not only as their employee, but as a person. So think about those types of bosses. Then think about the bosses that were either passive aggressive in their communication, took bad days out on their employees, didn't really care about what they were doing, and were just there for the paycheck. Okay, so if you think about those 2 different types of bosses, that is the potential that we have being the leaders of our family. We get to decide what type of boss and leader we are for our children. Many of us, through the stress of parenting today, we're showing up as that passive aggressive manager who's taking out hard times on our kids and who's really depleted and lacking in support in the position that we're in. And so if you feel like you are that depleted leader and manager in your family, just know that you're not alone. And so we help you get to that place of where you're leading your family and your parenting goals and values are aligned with your practices. And the first thing that we do to get there, and what my clients are really dedicated to, is the relationship they have with their children. And so what we know about positive relationship and connection, it's a basic human need, like food, water, and shelter for our kids. So when my clients, they do the work to prioritize connection and positive relationship with their kids, just like they prioritize mealtime and sleep. And so that is the foundational piece and the initial game changer. And why is that? Because connection is a basic human need, just like food. Kids need positive relationship with us to grow their developing brains. So what can happen is when, and again, this is not the fault of any parent, when, due to the stress of parenting today, we're not connecting with our kids, we're not putting the positive, proactive time in, then our kids' brains go on red alert and they're like, I need to get my connection needs met any way I can. And if I can't get it met through a positive, then I'm going to go into negative attention-seeking behaviors. So what my clients do through our work together, we identify what are the sweet points of connection. What are the things that you enjoy doing that your kids also enjoying? What's the realistic time that we can schedule in this quality time? And then what is it going to take for all of us to just take a deep breath, to put our phones down, to set the timer for 10 minutes, and to enter into our children's world and follow them in play and joy and fun and just enjoy our kids and have fun together. And then that really changes with the ages and developmental stages of your children. The way we connect with our 15 to 18-year-olds is going to be way different than the way we connect with our 2-year-olds and our 8 and our 9-year-olds. So we build out that connection and positive relationship plan that is individualized and customized for your family. And this is one of the number one ways that parents right away notice a tremendous difference in their kids' behavior, is when that connection and positive relationship is happening. Okay, so that's the number one thing that my clients are really committed to, is the positive relationship connection with their kids and making that connection time happen to meet their children's basic needs, which is going to directly correlate to more positive behavior, cooperation, and listening. Okay, so the second thing that my clients do that really works is an extension of positive relationship. They learn how to best communicate, speak, and listen to their children. So going back to our adult real lives, think about the friends and the family members that you have. You have different friends that you share different things with, that you connect with over different areas, and that you speak to. And the way that you speak to different people in your life may change. Well, it's the same for our kids. And I tend to work with kids that are more sensitive, more strong-willed and persistent, more intense, and more driven by a need for regularity than many of their peers. And the way that you speak to kids effectively is really based on their temperament. And for general communication strategies, I love the book, How to Listen, How to Talk So Your Kids Will Listen, and How to Listen So Your Kids Will Talk. Many of you might already be familiar with that book, but one of the things I love about it is it's set up parts of the book like a comic strip. So it's really easy to flip through and read and get real life strategies, communication strategies right away. Okay, so figuring out how to best communicate with your kids based on their temperament, based on who, really tuning into who they are as individuals, their unique brain wiring. About half of the families I work with have neurodiverse family members. So really taking that into account, that unique temperament, brain wiring of each of your children, and then what their interests are and when is the best time to communicate with them. And so a few general strategies that I give to all my clients and what we work on rolling out is having more conversations in calm and connected moments. And if you feel comfortable doing so, the car is a great time to have conversations. These little touch points throughout the day of calm and connected moments, they make the biggest change for our kids. And when we can stop having conversations during the challenging times of life, when everyone's stressed, when there's high emotions, that's not the time. And so I help parents identify what the challenge areas are and then bring the conversations and the communication over into the calm and connected moment. So that's one strategy and tip you can use right away. The second strategy and tip that I will share is for those kids who are what we call the CEO kids, right? They are strong-willed, they're highly sensitive, and they're the kids who are prone to power struggles and emotional dysregulation. So what's the best strategy for those kids? I'll tell you. These are the children who are waiting to lead. They are just waiting. And what's happening is they're in a negative leadership role often in the family. So they're taking that intensity, that strong will, that sensitivity, and it can become really a nightmare. It can become a deficit and a challenge for your family. And we want to get that core temperament traits into the rightful place of the child's strengths. And if you have a kid who's strong-willed, highly sensitive, the CEO kids, more intense than their peers, they're just waiting to lead. And one way that you can do that is really giving them autonomy and leadership over their routines. So it's not saying, okay, whatever you want to do is fine. It's having the support from me to identify what the plan and the routine is. You're holding it, you're sharing the vision, you're in your leadership role, and then you're inviting your CEO, your spirited kid, to step into the leadership role, to implement, to take full ownership for the routine. And that's going to look different based on the ages and developmental stages, what full ownership means. And you're inviting them to decide how things get rolled out. And so this can be a number one game changer when kids are taking, and hello, welcome if you're just joining us, taking this responsibility for the routines. And then the last communication tool that I want to share that my kids have the most, hey, welcome, thanks for being here. My clients experience really tremendous results with is learning how to hold the vision for your kids and giving them the invitation to step into your vision. We hear a lot about being low demand as parents today due to the stress levels or due to our kids' unique brain wiring. And what low demand means is not being forceful, coercive, manipulating. But low demand doesn't mean that you don't hold the vision for your family. In fact, you hold a positive expectations, high expectations with love, with empowerment, with belief in your kids. And then you invite your kids to step into your vision. And so these are the things that my clients are doing so effectively, holding the vision, inviting kids into the vision, and giving kids responsibility and leadership in how they roll out the vision, the day-to-day routine or the plan, and to really understand who your kids are as individuals and how to best communicate with them, as well as having the connection, connected communication moments in calm and connected moments, not in high stress moments. And these are all things that I help my clients roll out effectively for more connection, cooperation, and listening in your family. Okay, so the last thing that my clients are really committed to, and this takes an amount of bravery and courage that it's hard to capture in words unless you're living it, but they really commit to their parenting as healing journey. Because a lot of what is most triggering or activating about our kids' behavior, a lot of the areas where we're stuck in negative cycles with our kids, it's not actually about us and our children. It's about what we inherited from our own parents and caregivers. And so my clients are really brave and courageous to look at, okay, how am I being activated by my children's behavior? And then, is that a reflection of something negative that I experienced, a negative cycle, or an area where my parents didn't have enough support and they didn't show up optimally for me as a child? And then how can I see that cycle and then identify what are the unmet basic needs from my own childhood, and how can I meet them for myself today? How can I say, I value having more listening. I value being able to have healthy emotional expression. I value being able to be angry and not having it be either a dangerous, unsafe, or bad thing. I value my kids having a voice and being respectful. And so how can we really see how that negative behavior challenge is actually a reflection of our unmet basic needs from our own childhood? And then how can we meet that need first and foremost for ourselves as parents today, and then for our children? And this is a process that my clients are really committed to. Yay, thanks for being here. And they do the work, and it's not easy work to do. It takes a level of embracing our humanity and vulnerability and being compassionate with ourselves and with our kids today. But if you're stuck on what we call a negative, conscious discipline calls a negative feedback loop with our kids, and I see parents who are in this negative feedback loop for weeks, for months, and sadly, I work with parents and I see in my personal life how sometimes we're in a negative feedback loop with our kids for years. And it's never too late to interrupt that cycle with compassion for yourself, with this loving awareness that sometimes it's not really about you and your kids. It's about the cycle that you inherited from the generations before you. And when we can identify and really honor and celebrate what those core needs are that are actually your core parenting values, and then we bring those values alive with aligned actions that are rooted in you and your children's needs today. This is the work that my clients are brave and courageous enough to do. And when we work on every other aspect of parenting, and there's these blocks to implementing the tools, this is usually the deeper work that we're doing. And it is the work that creates lasting change. It's the work that creates a positive legacy, because when you close that negative intergenerational cycle that you inherited and you translate it into the positive value in need, then that is on autopilot for all future generations of children in your family. And I always get emotional when I talk about this, I think, because it's so core to my own parenting journey, and it's something that I offer parents that is very unique to what other parent educators and coaches may offer, because I'm doing this work of intergenerational change on a very deep level alongside all of you. So those are the things that my clients are doing to create a lasting change in their families and to create a positive legacy, not only in the relationship today with their children, but in all future generations of children. Because when we lock into these positive patterns and cycles, they're on autopilot for our children. And so this is the work that we do together in Happy Home Coaching. If you are new to the community, you can hop into it. If you go over to my bio page, one of the links is my free positive parenting masterclass, the Happy Home Week. And you'll get to sample the Happy Home tools and approaches. And it also includes a complimentary 30-minute call with me for individualized support and application. And this is not a sales call. This is a call to bring the tools alive for your family. And you're all invited to do that if you haven't yet gone through the Happy Home Week. I am also enrolling for Happy Home Coaching that'll bring us from the mid-fall to starting 2025 with connection and cooperation in your family, because you are finally in your rightful leadership role as a compassionate and confident leader. And so please message me to learn more about Happy Home Coaching and for the application to apply. Okay, so as we wrap up today, I really want you to think about, what's your focus area? Is it on positive relationship with your children, on that connection, on being the type of leader that you're here to be, just like those positive bosses or maybe a coach or teacher that you've had in your life? Do you want to focus on really connecting with your kids and on quality time? Because connection equals cooperation. Do you want to focus on effective communication in your family? And again, this is something my clients are really dedicated to, on how to speak to their kids that is encouraging and motivating and that invites your children into the high positive expectations that you have. Do you want to switch these conversations into calm and connected moments? Maybe maybe some of your focus for this fall is around communication with your kids and effective communication. And lastly, maybe you're on your parenting as healing journey and you know that it's not really necessarily about what's going on today, that what's informing negative and cycles in your family is what you inherited from previous generations. And if that's the case, then you're going to really honor your bravery and courage to do this work and to come with compassion and identify. What we do is we translate that negative into a positive. From that negative behavior, from the negative cycle you inherited, what is the positive translation? What's the value or the need that we can create that foundation within your family? So I'd love to hear, what's your focus area for this fall? And then I'll see you. I'm going to be showing up live at least for the month of September. Every Wednesday, we're going to have these lives, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time in the West Coast, and then the replays will be here as well. So please, if you want me to cover certain topics, let me know and I'll do my best to cover them. Okay, I'm sending so much love and support to your family. I believe in you. Remember that you already have all the wisdom within you. And what I help you do in Happy Home Coaching is to unlock that wisdom to create positive change and a positive legacy for you and your children. Okay, I'll see you next time.